Start recording again. So, Port Cecil, a source of silver glow, a haven for players of games. Rumple's convolutions of coral fill the water glimmering with silvery light. The harder you look, the more you see shapes amid the chaos, almost as if they were sculpted. This one could be a crenellated castle, that one a horse's head. A neat little port huddles into the side of a coral island, prosaic imperial docks and houses tucked away in baroque organic chaos. In that curious silvery light, among the frozen chaos of coral, the scene has the unreal air of a pencil sketch crumpled and discarded. Right, let's go and visit the mysterious thing. Setting up. The pulse of the principles. Silvery light fills the sea cave, dripping from the walls. It condenses to pools of whitish fluid on the uneven floor. Sea sound fills the cave, strong and slow like the long beating of a heart. On a square slab of coral, someone has set up a game of chess. The pieces are different from one used in London. You see the spiraling bishops, the corner roots, the kin and the terrible queen. As you touch each one, a deep voice whispers its name. The outcast toddles eagerly over to the chessboard to place the stinkstone piece at one corner. Oh yes, the voice of Principal sighed. Oh yes, that'll be very good. But I ache so to be reduced, to be less. Will you bring more? I'll pay most in scintillax and in secrets. Yes, I'll need to complete my chess set, and then you'll need to defeat me. Bring me a wakeful idol to be my new bishop. Bring me a monster tooth to be my new knight. Bring me a heart-shelled silver to be my new root. Bring me a little flint to be my new paw, and bring me a flute core for my kin. At each phase, the outcast nods and sways, nods and sways. Somehow it looks frightened. You now have 7 scintillax. Gathers intelligence. The older inhabitants of Port Cecil carried coral incrustations like a disease, splotched with silvery light. They like to go up onto the limestone heights behind the harbour, to lay their heads against the pillars and towers, stare at the roof of an earth, dream open-eyed. Sometimes they speak of things far away. The Carnate's work, the smuggler wars, the Fathom King's secrets. Perhaps it is not all invented. So basically, we need to complete a chess set with which to kill some sapient coral. Like, I personally really like this kind of setting. So it's just like, here's what's going on. You know, this is how things work in this setting. If you think that it should be more like reality, okay, but we're not gonna do it. Stuff like this, the various kind of manga like One Piece, you know, anything that doesn't try to kind of like have like an everyman luring you into the show, luring you into the setting, and it's just like, yep, here's the setting, catch up, because it feels much like exploring it as someone who should know all this feels a lot more interesting to me than exploring it through the eyes of a viewpoint character who needs to have exposition dumped on them all the time. In fact, so there's this manga called Toriko, which ended like 2 years ago, and I've kind of had a document open about Toriko since that time, just beginning with a sentence. I have been trying to analyze Toriko since it ended. By the way, we just arrived at the island postman, so we are going down into the cavern. But one of the things I really like about it is that Toriko himself, like the main character, is actually really knowledgeable about the world, and what he doesn't already know, he is quite often very good at working out as he goes along. So there's exposition, but it's often a lot more Toriko kind of ticking off the list in his head as he thinks through what to do next. Which has been nice to see. I think, like, having characters exposit in their own head is a really good mechanism. I'm going to okay, so I'm going to assemble a report. So I might do a piece on that Torque home world building. It certainly has a very bizarre world. Anyway, so basically, yeah, this island is weird. Okay, so let's do some more shift work in the Z-letter office. So I'm going to descend into a basement with flame. Properly equipped, candles for a way and a flare for a bottom. Spiral on spiral on spiral. The descent is long and slow. You count returns at first, but the time comes when you can't see the square of light from door above and can't mark how far you've come around the spiral. You exhaust one candle after another. At the end, you come to a place where a ramp opens into a bowl-shaped floor. The cavern must be hundreds of feet wide here. You light your flare, but even that does not show the cavern walls. The floor is carpeted with, at first you guess it is gravel, but no, it is broken shards of clay and stone, all scribbled over in words too old to read. At the centre of this space is a needle of deep black rock, glossy as resin, glittering with ice, inscribed with 3 arcane sigils that hurt to look at. You feel a meaning in their presence, a prohibition or a commandment, that all things must come to their destined place, that what cannot be delivered immediately must be saved against a future date, that a message that goes unheard is a tragedy, that the signal must be carried, no matter how far, no matter through what darkness, no matter whether the sender still lives or whether the recipient can even read the language of the writing. The inscription resolves itself and is known to you. No word lost. You now have one searing enigma. Mysteries are fire. Truth burns. The climb out is slow and takes a long time. Could you possibly come down this far? Surely not. Your breath grows ragged and your legs cramp. Ascend. There is no way out but up. At the surface, the dead letter office is still here, its machine still working, its basket still filling with missed invitations and misplaced world. Shouldn't it have been blasted away, destroyed by the force of what lies beneath? Tell the postal rat what you saw below. Maybe he will be curious. You start to explain, but your language doesn't have the right word to express it. The weight of the delivery commandment, the sacred necessity for every word to reach its destination, and the countless individual miscarriages of meaning from one entity to another which have occurred throughout history and are still occurring to the detriment of the whole universe. He holds up a paw. Not going to understand it no matter how much you explain, he says, and I'm glad, as if I did, I'd be likely run mad working where and as I do. After a moment he says, likely you'll forget, at least forget some of it. After all, you never wore the uniform. Then he points out where your hair has singed at the temples, and gives you an ointment that he keeps in a drawer. Offer employment to the post of Ratney? No. Okay. Right. Moving on. So we go down to Khan's Heart. The Think Not All Vortex. I have no idea why it's called the Think Not All Vortex, but it is a pretty fun name. Handily, that has also cleared up some space in my inventory, so I can, in my hold, so I can start making things. So here we are in the Carnate, and that is a Carnate War Trimaran. I don't particularly want to get into a fight with that. So yes, misunderstood misunderstandings and the limitations of language to explain ideas is another one of those big themes of Sunless Sea and various other Failbetter Games. Right, we want to go to Khan's Heart to pick up the tactical intelligence. London's rival. Drop off the August travel writer. Your payment, Captain. It's been a pleasure. Oh yeah, that guy. The guy who every time I dropped him off, a mysterious murder happened, which he totally couldn't have been involved in. By evening bell, the travel writer sets across the planks with good speed, his streamer trunks in his arms. The storyteller pesters you for coins as you eat your dinner at a steam-filled restaurant. You throw him a coin for quiet before you can resume your meal. An explosion tears through the next street. Citizens, sailors, and the white gulls hurry to the crater. Once the smoke is cleared, you see the innards of a secret shipyard, torn brass and steel, mangled faces staring lifelessly from rubble. The whites and gulls argue in their own tongue. The storyteller ambles up to you. They are saying that the Leopard made underwater ships here, in violation of agreement with London. He whispers. They say London's assassin has visited. You might want to slip away. Gain 200 echo. An agreement has been enforced. And now the white and golds, which are kind of the police, are following me. So, right. Find your contact. 28% chance of a success. The Khanate is wary of Imperial spies. Go very carefully. You have half the directions you need. The other should be at a dead drop on the docks. Misplaced letters. You find your contact in a filthy lodging house behind the tanneries. Tell them this is the last time, she says helplessly. She knows perfectly well it won't be. She gives you a double handful of tiny notes with chicken scratch markings. Zebak courier notes from the temple. I don't know how much of it. I don't know. Go, now, go. I've succeeded. And I got strategic information, and the white golds are really starting to get pissed off. You know that meme which is just like, why are you cutting all the sleeves off your shirts? Because X isn't here? I don't understand it. Or she's like 90% of my impulse control. Yeah, some people in this chat are kind of the opposite. It's just like, is there something that could be, is there something difficult for me to do? If yes, do it, do it, do it! Okay, we're in pretty good shape. We can stock up, we've got some echoes to stock up some supplies in Khan's Heart. You know, I think we can take a bit of a longer way back round to London. Right. Port report. Shops. Traveller's friend. Let's stock up on some fuel. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to Polypheum. Then we go down and explore some of this big black area. Then we go back up to Dimmu Island because the irrepressible cannoneer wants us to do that. Then back over to London. A jolly good little waltz. Actually, I don't think I do want to visit Polytheum, yeah. So I'm gonna go south. So here we're coming to the Swallowing Isles, and the Mangrove College filled with philosophers. Yeah, this is where philosophers end up in Sunless Sea, a huge swamp, a huge area of swamps. Which I mean, like, given the current funding situation for philosophy in the UK, I feel like this is a good end for philosophy as a group. The Melting Isles. That's not an ominous name at all. A streaming wall of parasynthetic vegetation and a village. Barely a village. Hold walls, roofs in disarray. This stilts leaning dangerously. It looks to be assembled by drunks in a hurry. Dock carefully. Pick up a passenger. Sounds good. So we want someone to go back to Port Cecil, which is good because that's where we're heading at the moment anyway. Compile a port report. All shall be well. The thinkers of Mangrove College continue their untroubled and sedentary existence. New schools of philosophy are born and die like bubbles. Extraordinary poetries are written in water. The occasional retired pirate fails and tries and fails to get invited to saloons. Right, let's go beachcombing. Ships often come and go to and from the Mangrove College, often secret. What might have they flung overboard? Something glinting. Just bottle glass? Just bottle glass, but there's a message in the bottle. A page from a journal. The writer has described a debauched afternoon in thrilling detail. Who threw this into the sea? Was it some botched attempt at blackmail, or a love affair gone sour? So I just found a vodka in a bottle. Okay. Right. So, the current order of business is the irrepressible cannoneer gives us a really good weapon, which will help a lot. Which one can fulfill one of the requirements for your father's bones by itself. We watch the fungal paths in the Sea of Lilies. There is a prison here, guarded by knot oracles. So we're going to want to get that together. A particularly tormented bound shark. Aww. If it wasn't trying to destroy my ship, I'd feel sorry for it. Yeah, I really don't want to get hit by that. They do a lot of damage. Here is wisdom. It's a giant prison. Wisdom. The prison walls are mercilessly asleep. This is a knot oracle. Let the shady cook go ashore. Vor cook, he said dangerously. Let me see to. I don't know what that means. Okay. So I've got a bunch of new supplies, but I've got too many, and I need to throw some overboard. Oh yes, the uncertain fellow assures you. We value enthusiasm over formal qualifications. The knot oracles are always hungry, but they're also delicate in their taste. Their meals must be prepared arduously. I understand this fellow is indentured to you? Well, we have collected tremendous stores of knowledge from the oracles. Tremendous. Let me give you some of my notes, and we will of course replenish your stores. Thank you so much. The cook darts eagerly into the prison as soon as the doors are open. He doesn't even say goodbye. So I've lost my starting officer. I've gained quite a lot of stuff actually. Moves in a great game, which is the kind of political machinations of the European powers. Visions of a surface, memory of distant shores, sea stories, tales of terror, strategic information. I've gained another secret and some fuel and supplies. So let's see. First of all, let us put the nastiest outcast. Its brothers and sisters have abandoned it. Pearly light drips from its mantle crest. The principals have touched it, but not gently. But it can work miracles with salt and fish flesh. So they can become my new cook. Right then, strategic information. So I've got enough strategic information that I can try and use. So make sense of moves in the game, that hidden agenda. So by combining the moves of a great game with the strategic information, I now have one vital intelligence. They thought no one would recognize the pattern. They hadn't counted on you. Hello, shark. I see you. Ego, go away. Go, go, go. I'm going to avoid the fish friend. So here's Sea of Lilies. Not to be mistaken for the Sea of Lily, which is what happens when the Pokemon universe names a sea after the best character. That joke would have been funnier if I had not paused and got confused in the middle of a sentence. Oh well. Okay, so we go across here, then up to the Moor Island, then back over to London. So what island is this? Is this the island? I think it is. Saint Haven! Big Boat Island. I'm gonna come back to that island. That island kind of deserves a session in and of itself. That is a silly island. Oh look, another fish friend. They are everywhere, aren't they? The thing is, at this rate, you guys are going to be you guys are going, like, when I finally get around to fighting a bound shark properly, you guys are going to get annoyed at me for killing one of your fish friends. I'm not going to mingle with the fish friends. They do horrible amounts of damage to my hull. And I like my hull. The Phosphagen bleaks. Here we are. Right, so this is where the irrepressible cannoneer wants us to go. The Iron Misery Co. Funging Station. So the bound sharks are basically, someone's tried to make cyborgs and they're not very good at it because this is Victorian level tech. So, um, yeah, Hull is indeed a city in the UK. Which I have always been disappointed that it's not like built into the hull of a massive ship. I don't have enough money. Compile a report, and team of a factor. Okay, so I didn't have enough money to find out that secret. So right. So I'm gonna go back to London, get some money, come back. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of going back and forth in this game. There's lots of kind of going back and forth in this game. But you know, it's quite a relaxing game just because there's a lot of kind of time where you're not really doing much. Like, it's not like something like Overwatch, which is always action, action, action. Assault lions, visit VM makers, muscular pick wielders rest on camp stools watching you approach, passing hit flash around. An unctuous overseer beckons you to sit. We get funding from a bazaar, it's true, but Station 4? I wouldn't call it Station 4, it's a little grandiose. The stones are stuffed with secrets, but most of them are used to guard in statuary or occult ballast. Most of them. Some go down below to go down to places under the bazaar. More tea cakes? And record the activities of the unmakers such as they are, rite of stone and silence. Right. Back to London. You may notice I check the map a lot. That's because I'm not very good at knowing where I'm going. So I tend to have to check it. Bad Stevenus Abyss. Packbat, I read that as better check the map, then get lost. Home waters. Sailors dwindle at the rail, waiting for the lights of London. Collect messages from the harbour master. All the clatter and song of the dockside has moved the soul. Are there messages for you? Let's see. Okay, let's do the most important thing and spend time with my family. I shall tell it of far lands. There is something you saw far across the black ocean. Share it. Your child eyes grow round as pennies. They store up the memories of dream fuel. Much later, you find the screen you described, scrawled on a foolscap sheet by a childish hand. Right. Submit Vital Intelligence. What's that? Tell me, quickly! Vital Intelligence can be created from 2 pieces of strategic information, or earned through spy networks and some other opportunities. Enthusiastic nods. I'm glad you brought this to me. I have a colleague of sorts, a diplomat so-called. I will tell you because I trust you. This diplomat will pay better, but I put the information to better use. He leans forwards. There are powers in this world I cannot speak of. There are affairs of a navy I'm not proud of. Bring me more information like this and we can set matters right. You now have recovering supremacy London. So basically, vital intelligence is intelligence so useful that it actually shifts the balance of power in the nerf. So you can bring it to either Khan, London, or one other faction. Right. Submit my port reports. Mount Palmerstone, Port Cecil. I'm not going to read these out. I don't think I have any new ones apart from maybe Wither. So I'm just going to blitz through them to grab the money. Right, shops. All stack it chain. So I'm going to sell the Zoop and the Scintillaca grab. Mainly just so that, just for the hold space and for some cash. Right. Still got some more support reports to give in. Let's find the next place. So the Chelonate far to the east is the next point that we need. And ask the Admiral what he thinks of the voracious diplomat. The diplomat, a half-legendary, all-infamous figure whose connection to the Admiralty is obscure. An unprincipled scoundrel, the Admiral snaps. If you have intelligence, bring it to me. Don't go off for books. Okay. Right, let's go and meet the diplomat. The diplomat lairs near Mason's Pyre in a second-floor office above a gymnasium for pugilistic ladies and gentlemen. So it's above a boxing gym, basically. Your conversation is punctuated by distant shouts and blows. The diplomat smiles fondly at the sounds. Pick up an agent. I have a friend, the diplomat says casually, who would be grateful for passage somewhere else. The Carnate, for instance, or Port Celian. So I'm going to take them. And ask about the diplomat's role. What kind of diplomacy is involved? The kind of a diplomacy that doesn't get written down. I'm attached to the Admiralty, not the Foreign Office. London is not what she was, but she still has interests abroad. I look after them as best I can. I do hope you're patriotic enough to not ask for too many details. Ask about the Dark Speckled Admiral. Do they work closely together? Well now, the Admiral is a man of principle, very straightforward, very traditional in his views. I think it's rather courageous of him to expect the Navy to operate without outside assistance, and he has excellent taste in both chamber music and wine. I hope that makes my feelings clear. Right. Okay. Just see if there's anything else I can sort out while I'm here. Might as well get one more recruit. So I've just increased the number of sailors by 1. Go to the dry dock. I'm not going to use my Admiralty Yards one just because it uses up Admiralty's favour. I'm going to go to... So it'll cost me 100 echoes, but I've got money to burn, so that's fine. Shops, right. Stock up some more supplies and stuff. And then... Right, so... I want to head over to Demir Island, and then I suspect I want to go to Astroville. So I'll go and visit the islands here at the very end. Oh, I will save that for when I'm coming back with a lot of terror. The tattoo parlor has a lot, or drops a lot of terror when you have one added in. So I kind of save that as a, you know, I've come limping back, and I need to quickly reduce terror. So it's a good idea, but for now I'm going to start sailing away. Yeah, I think if you decide to get a tattoo, it drops it by 25 terror, and if you don't decide not to, it gets rid of all terror temporarily. It gets rid of all terror for a one-off thing. So, yeah, it's worth kind of just keeping it around as a, you know, a just-in-case kind of measure. I am not going the right way. Okay, we're going back to the salt lions again. Hooray! Can't leave that place. So basically, one of the best places to go for a couple of the things that the well, to get some of the things that the Coals want, we need to get some things that the Coals want us to through their fetch quest. We need to be better at killing high-level creatures. So we're going to go and get it. So basically, our current mission is to get a better gun and ship. And that means kind of grinding, to be honest. But yeah, so I'm probably, just in terms of planning, I'm probably going to do the stream for about another 20 minutes. So that would be a 2-hour session with 2 1-hour videos on one with YouTube channel. And then, yeah, we'll see how things go. So we're back at the Iron and Misery Company, but now we have enough money to get the bribe to find out what we need to do for the irrepressible cannoneer. Right then. Okay. Bargain with a Factor for a secret. The irrepressible cannoneer is convinced the Factor knows more about a weapon, the company's terrible prototype. You'll need a bribe, it is only fair. Even with a bribe, the Factor is reluctant to talk, but it seems the Cannoneer knew him in the old days, and he's even more reluctant to have the Cannoneer talk about the old days. Finally, he was in. It was in a place called Astroville. Do you know it? It's, a striking place. You wouldn't believe if I have told you. It's east, a long way east. We took it off all the maps. Not that maps last long at sea anyway, that's all I know. Now, shall we let the path lie where it fell? Right, so our destination is Astroville, up here. So we go pass through this big patch of blackness and up here. Then I think we're gonna need some materials from Mount Palmstone. So I think from Astroville we'll go up, around, and down. Jolly good. And I'm also going to want to be on the lookout for opportunities to get some cash, just because I need to buy a new ship. Ooh, talking about opportunities for cash, it's the Pirate Poet! So, just as a reference for controls, like all of these are linked to a... So basically these are hotkeyed. So I can press these buttons along here to use them, but I prefer to just use... Because the one key is above, I'm using the WSD keys to control the ship. So it's easier for me just to have the one, just to put my finger on the one key. Investigate the wreckage. Rescue a pirate poet. Once again I am the victor. Once again the familiar dance. Words are no longer needed. The pirate poet bows her head and acknowledges your victory. Next time though, a smile style as don't suspect her to go so easy on you. 400 echoes, some supplies, some fuel, and a cache of curiosities. And 2 more fuel. Jolly good. All clear. Right. Onwards. So that face on the floor isn't at all menacing. I feel like if I ran a roleplay in the Sunless Sea world, like a lot of the players would just be like, I want to make a character who is either like the child of the poet or is going to try and seduce the poet. Ah. Aschaven, Godfall. So this is a giant fallen stalactite that has fallen. So this is a giant stalactite which has fallen off the top of the roof, fallen from the roof of a nerf. So yeah, this is kind of scale of a nerf. Like, that's the stalactite. Sometimes, just occasionally, bits of a roof fall off. Be glad you weren't here when this one did. The brawling bearded men who live here call themselves monks. They pay lip service to sink stalactite, which fell from the roof, but their chief interest seems to be wine, blood, and shouting. Speak with monks about the newest member. They escort you to his cell. Used to be a Zayla, one whispers. We were hoping you could help us work out what's wrong. The supplicant. An old bearded man sits cross-legged and naked in Godfall's smallest monastic cell. At the sight of a group, he flinches. His wrinkled skin is covered in faded scars. No more freedom, he whispers. 10 o'clock we sweep. 15 past the clock we wash. There are orders. There must be orders. No more freedom, please! A monk hands him a mop and bids him clean the entire chapel by first bell. The supplicant squeezes it tight. Yes, master, he whispers, tears of gratitude welling up in his eyes as he scampers off. There is a awkward silence. He should make a very devout monk, one of the others ventures, once we finally get him into the habit of shouting. Let them tell you about past and present events in the monastery. So this is another place where you can use foxfire candles to explore. In fact, it's kind of worth doing. There's some good stuff you can get from it. But I don't have any candles on me, so I'll get back to that. They're eager to tell you about their history. The stalactite, they assure you, was one of the citadels of the starved men who dwell in the roof. When it fell, a few of its occupants survived to become the mock's progenitors. How does that work, you wonder, with their vow of celibacy? They become vague and are suddenly eager to speak of the details of passing shipping. I'm gonna go with, like, asexual reproduction. They are bacteria monks! I can make jokes about asexual reproduction because I'm ace. Unfinished revolutionaries. So, These, this is another, basically this entire ship populated by people like the Pirate Poet. But she's more cool than them. Ow! 12 damage. I don't think... Okay. So net shot, this ship is down. Fragments of K are littered across the deck. They crunch underfoot like potsherds. Potsherd. Unfinished men do not surrender. Investigate hold. What treasure did these villains take? Cache of curiosities. And 5 lots of supplies. So I'm going to sail down, I'm going to pop into Polypheum, Makar's Shadow, Melting Islands, then go to the Shellinate and pick up some, pick up the intelligence that's there. And then I'll go up to Astral, up and around via Mount Palmstone, then back to the back to London. Polypheum. Far off, very far off, someone screams. Taciturn claymen, evasive clothed colonies walking like humans, cobbles that groan underfoot. On the hills above, a palace villa of marble, beam that writhes like buried bones in an earthquake. Gather intelligence. What news from Polypheum? What lives? The king with 100 hearts rules this palace. Rules from his palace above the city. He is never seen, he made no treaties of the land. But there is unrest in the air. The claymen you speak to are obedient and humble, but they speak nervously of those who are not. The maimed, the rebellious, the unfinished. Shore leave. Drink beer at Wales from cups that sob, if you like that kind of thing. Nah, I don't think I do. Actually, I know what I'll do while I'm here. I think at Khan's Shadow I can pick up a crate of souls for our friends the Deviless. So, you know, give her a little present. Means I don't have to give her mine either. To be honest, I might go on for a little longer than I was planning to, so I might make this into a 2.5 hour stream. Because I kind of have a plan in my head. I'll keep going until I get to until I feel like I've reached an obvious place to stop. Wanderer's Haven. Khan's Shadow. Long ago, the Khanate turned its back on its warriors' traditions. Compile report. So many malcontents, so little time. Combining, debauching, speechifying, drinking, singing, speeching, poeting. Now and then a drunken duel. Very occasionally a savage ritual murder. Right. Right, shops. I want to pick up a crate of human souls and a bit of fuel. Jolly good. So I think rather than going down to melting isles, I'm gonna just sail this way. Sorry, if there's a bit of weird noise, I've started doing my sim, which is kind of flapping my arms around. Oopsie daisy, that's a big crab. Please go away, big crab. You're not gonna go away, are you? Okay, the way to deal with, you know, kind of enemy ships in this game is to stay out of their line of sight. The way to deal with giant sea monsters in this game is to keep heading backwards. There's some of them it doesn't work on, particularly ones that have ranged attacks. But it's gone underwater. Okay. Hello. Like, I do feel like the combat in this game could have been improved a bit, because it is fairly simple. It does its job, but it's like, it's not gonna, like, it's not super brilliant. Although it's, to be honest, it feels very much like, you know, the kind of old Flash games, which had really simple mechanics, but were kind of fun to do. It's kind of like that. Like, it feels weird after doing stuff like, after doing what kind of more advanced games that focuses on the combat. But it does its job. Right. You've destroyed an eastern angler crab. The shell is shattered. The glowing Ilicilia, which are these things, lie silent. Butcher it for supplies and occasionally other oddities. You now have an unprepossessing mass and gain 3 supplies. There's probably something horrible inside, but possibly there is not. Choice cuts. It won't keep, but looks tasty. It's rather like eating trout if a trout had tried to kill you a few hours ago. Take that, trout. Okay. It's kind of fitting that I killed that monster while we're just outside the Charlinate, which is a city of monster killers. So you can see here, there's a giant spine down the sea. Another sea beast corpse afloat. So much carrion. We approach the Shellonate. A shell as big as any wild dream. Wave lats the slabby size of a vast turtle shell, bigger than any cathedral. Shellonates low from wooden docks around the shell sides, staring sunny. Lamps hang like decorations in a festive butcher's window. All around you, the sea is rank with scraps of ancient flesh. That I need the Submarine 4. Port report. I need a hunting trophy. I don't have a hunting trophy. Great. The meaning limits the meaningful expression. No matter what details you try to record, the stench creeps in around the edges of the sentences. The shellates watchful despite the reek. Movement among the miasmic scraps of long abandoned monster carcasses. A few jewels where the stink is thickest. So yeah. That hunting trophy thing is why I need a bigger gun, basically. Or I'll need to start killing some of the fish friends. The bound sharks. I think they drop them. But the best target for them is usually the lifebirds up in the north. That's a lawn fluke. Oh dear. Okay, do I want to try and take this on? Maybe. This could take a while. So this is a lawn fluke, which is a very scary giant sea urchin that can fire eldritch symbols at you, known as the correspondence, that causes large amounts of terror if they hit you. So like when it does that kind of spiral thing, yeah, it does 2 damage, and if you've got low hull, it will start to terrorize your crew and do like 10, it does like 10 terror. It's kind of scary. Also, if it rams you, it does like 30 damage. So you can understand why I'm a bit leery to try and fight it now. On the other hand, I might be speaking too soon on this. Ow. Suffered 20 damage, lost 1 crew. Okay, I was speaking too soon on that. Ow. Okay. Shit, I've run out of places to run. On the other hand, the lawn fluke is leaving. Okay, I'm going to kind of circle around a bit to get into a better position to fight it. Damn it! Drop back under the sea. It moves faster under the sea. And I lose my... I'm going to... Not what I meant to do. God damn it. It's really frustrating how it keeps on popping under the sea. Okay, so the good thing is we are right at the edge of its kind of territory, so it keeps kind of coming to look at me, and then going, I am too far away, and coming back. The main problem is, okay, so at this point it's about 3 or 4 shots away from dying. I am 2 rams. Like, if it rams me twice, I'm dead, basically. Okay. One more hit. One more hit. Come on. Boom! Yes! Haha! A lawn fluke is destroyed. Its pulpy flesh shivers with the energies of its failing language. Already it is disintegrating into the waters. The deliquescing body is full of incomprehensible organs that collapse at your touch. You sketch what you can, cock an ear to the departing harmonies of its violent language. At its center you find a vast lump of resin or congealed ghoul, the size of a barrel, flawed with darkness. In the fault starlight it is a deep violet purple. Irigo, your doctor whispers, the colour of forgetfulness. So, I passed the pages policy, got 3 secrets, and a colossal flute core, which is one of the things I needed for the coal stuff. Nice. So yeah, so later on, once you've basically, at first you get secrets by kind of exploring the map and getting fragments. That becomes much less important later on when basically once you've cleared the map you can't find anything new. So being able to hunt down and kill the lawn flukes, like a high level ship can reliably take them on. And once you can do that, you can just grind for secrets basically. Which is useful, because secrets are basically what you use to increase your stats. To a point. This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, use success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must, because we can. For the good of all of us, that is a tree of ages. Now these points of data make a beautiful line. Run away from the tree of ages, it's really scary. So the Tree of Ages is probably going to be the last thing I do to get fulfill the Fathom King shopping. The Valve getting ready with that copyright strike. So part of me is just like, I don't think my singing's going to be in tune enough for that to count. And then part of me is just like, that would require Valve to actually try to do something. As opposed to just pretending that they're trying to control, that they're trying to create their community and not just letting people do it for them. The Steam community is kind of shitty. I can dock on that ship, but I don't need to until I start doing some things at the Island of Spiders. Like, I feel that shot I just fired at Steam would be a better idea if, I feel that shot I just fired at Steam would be a better idea if I was playing Overwatch, a Blizzard game, and not a game that's on Steam. Like, I'm playing Steam right now. Here we are, Astraville. Leslie's Harbour. Sun! A great beam of sunlight bathes the island, squinting into the dazzle. Far above, there's a hole in the roof. In that light, you see beaches of white gold sand, trees heavy with bright fruit, with reds and blues and greens on the surface. The cannoneer points there, The black rocks on the south side of the island, but nothing grows. We need labour and supplies to dig it out. I've got labour, I've got supplies. Let's do this. Astral secret. Days of back-breaking labour unearth a cache of old bones, curios, and a meteorite. A broken armature of steel and copper shields its sides. The sailors feel back before it as the glyphs on its side cool with fire. This is it! Sorry. This is it! The cannoneer cries. This must be broke the roof. It's very frightening. A seal of red science. I never thought I'd see such a thing. But it's sleeping. We need a judgment's egg, and my friends in the Iron Republic. We might be able to find Neganirum. The crew shrink back a little. Oh, such larks, such larks. Right. Okay. We need a judgment egg. Just for reference, the judgments are basically like the three gods of the sea. They're at kind of one level, and then the judgments are kind of at the next level up in terms of power. So yeah, little bit scary. Oh, it's a beer mustache. I might take it on actually. That is a lot faster than I expected. This was a bad idea. So I don't think I'm going to be getting into any more fights anytime soon, given that I'm only on 2 health. 2 whole. So, yeah. Also, I'm very near the point where, like, if I lose one more crew, I can't go at full speed. Oh yeah, I also can't let myself bump into anything. So yeah, I think the rest of this stream will be, can I get back to London without dying horribly? Irem, none have ever spoken truthfully of this place, Pillared City. She will rise like the sea and ice like dawn. She will be garlanded with red and decked with gold. The Seven Serpent will watch you longingly from its high pedestal. You will always arrive as a stranger, but when you leave, some part of you will always remain. Compilers, port, shops. Judgment Egg. I can afford it for 10 secrets. Smooth copper long box. Let's make that 2. Watchful Curio. So actually I've just bought a load of the stuff that you need for the quest. Oh well. Alright, let's buy some more fuel and supplies. Okay. So, yeah. If I am going to die, I want to do it after I've got the Irrepassable Cannoneers quest done, because you can pass down the item you get from that to your next captain, so I won't have to do it again. So I kind of want to get this done. That is Mount Nomad. Nope, 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 nope. I am not in the position to fight the strongest. I am not in the position to battle the strongest being in the game. Nope, 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 nope. Please go away. Please, nope, nope, nope. Shipwreck, your ship flounders. There are streams, a flood of dark water, the unforgettable sound of a ship's spine breaking. Slip beneath the waves, perhaps you will be remembered in song. Your memoir's quality of lodging qualities have gone. Your first captain has died. Don't worry, these things happen. Explore boldly with your next captain. Choose a legacy, preserve something from your next captain. Okay. So I haven't got anything cool to kind of leave here, so I don't have any legacy qualities. Let's see. Warrant of Redemption. I think I will previously have been my old rival, because that lets me keep hold of my, that lets me keep one of my weapons, so I'll keep my health thrasher, which is very nice, and I get 50% of my iron value, which I was only at 58, so I'm on 29 now. Don't get the officer. Just an advice for if you do it, never be a correspondent, because the chart is, having the chart already filled in actually means that you lose out on a lot of the secrets you can get. So generally it's better to choose one of the other ones. Except Legacy. Yes. Your zone of Captain's making. 3 decades ago, in the reign of Victoria, London was stolen by bats. Now it lies a mile beneath the surface. It was dreadfully inconvenient for everyone, but it opened a vast black ocean to you. Welcome to the Undersea. So, I think I'm going to call it there. That seems like a natural place to end the stream. Thanks for watching, and next week we'll decide whether we want to continue doing the Your Father's Bones plotline, or whether we start looking at one of the other ones. I think I'll probably continue and try and recover. So yeah, I died. I was about to say worse things happened at sea, but like, I was at sea, and this was a very bad thing. So, whop whop whop. Anyway, I'll see you next Saturday.